Well, I've always been a part of school theatre per se. You know, that's always the first rush of blood that you have on stage. There was this one play that I did in my high school, which kind of made me feel like I'm a lot more serious about theatre than the others in my class. So when I passed out of school, I joined amateur theatre, which means that I joined the amateur theatre scene in Chennai. I worked with at least 6-7 groups in Chennai and short films, theatre, backstage, front stage, everything. So I think that gave me the certainty that this is going to be an important part of my life, and it's my responsibility to make it as important as it possibly could be. There was a Tom Stoppard play that we were performing at the Madras University, and it was a 45-minute segment of Tom Stoppard's play, The Real Thing. And ironically, it's called The Real Thing because I felt like it was the real thing for me. At the end of that 45 minutes, I had no recollection of what went on in that 45 minutes. I just felt like I was transformed. And this was, I think, 98 or something like that. And at that point of time, I knew that I need to make this a part of my life and part of my living. I think a lot of amateur companies get stuck in not taking the art seriously enough and not taking the business seriously enough either. A lot of serious theatre companies, artistic groups which have been in existence for a long time take the art so seriously that they have scant respect for the business. But I think that bridge between art and business is very, very crucial in order to make a living out of it. I think we take the art seriously enough, but we do not neglect the business, and we take the business seriously enough that we don't neglect the art. So I think it's a via media between doing enough commercially important work and artistically important work, and making sure that the artistic work does not suffer commercially and vice versa. At all points of time, theatre is only as valuable as it's relevant to the then and the now. So when Vijay was writing in the 60s and 70s and Badal Sarkar was writing in the 50s and the 60s, they had the responsibility of making their works relevant to that time and to that milieu. Today, revisiting a Vijay Tendulkar or a Badal Sarkar or worse, a Shakespeare from a very classical point of view has very little relevance to the world today because the world is looking for what is relevant to me today. Tell me something, entertain me. Even entertainment is relevant. At every point of time, making the text and the dramatization of something relevant to that milieu at that point of time is very, very important. I have no intellectual answer for that. I think the proof of the pudding is in the eating. Take Evam as a symptom of something that is happening in theatre. If we are a symptom, then the theatre has a glorious life, it has a profitable life. It is about how much of the artistic and the commercial world you want to straddle. You can get completely lost in the commercial world. You can have your artistic side as well. What is the mix that you want? But as long as you're willing to walk that fine line between art and commerce and realize that it's a fine line and understand that fine line better, I think the theatre world is going to have a glorious future in India, because as much as digital media is getting more and more fragmented and everybody watches a particular channel that they want and nobody else watches that, as it becomes more and more fragmented, theatre becomes one of that fragmented medium. There will be people who will want more and more out of theatre, and theatre will keep pushing that envelope. We will never be that mass medium. But today it's not the world of the mass medium anymore. The mass medium is dead. Theatre is going to break formats. No longer are you going to see theatre restricted only to the proscenium and the large auditoriums. It's going to happen in very, very interesting ways in our daily lives. And theatre has the element of surprise that cinema can never have. Whether theatre becomes more of improv and a little bit of stand-up, a little bit of multimedia, a little bit of surprise in live locations and unconventional spaces, theatre is going to be the fastest growing medium in the next 10 years. Right?